Shouldn't we officially amend the agenda when we do that? I don't think we did that last time.
What do you mean amended?
We had the executive session on the agenda. Shouldn't we have made a formal, I move to amend the agenda and move that to next time? And then you vote on it? Aren't you supposed to amend the agenda when you change it?
We did. When we had the meeting, we discussed it.
Yeah, but unofficial, I moved to,
I can
Amend.
swear we did.
oh, okay, alrighty.
Plus, this one was also, noticed, so.
Yeah, no, but if we don't do the executive session this time, we'll need to move to amend the agenda, so we put it off till next time, right?
Not if we never enter into executive session, I don't believe, as long as you notice it the next time you have an executive session,
Okay,
I think.
I think are we gonna do the executive session tonight or next time?
Well, I'm just thinking, if Scott's not gonna be here, Drew's not gonna be here, it doesn't look like Colt's gonna be here.
I didn't hear from Scott. Dang,
I mean, there are 6 council,
Yeah.
half of them are not.
yeah. So at a minimum, Mayor, I would suggest just announcing that it's when you call the meeting to order, that it will be rescheduled for February.
Okay.
If you want to take a vote on it, you can. I don't think that's necessary.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to start the recording? We might as well just get started since we. All right, let's go ahead and begin the city council at 6:31. Let's say the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of
America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are missing 3 counselors. Drew has an excused absence. I don't know if anybody's so that had signed up for
I don't see anybody over there.
okay. And I assume you're not. Just double checking. It's a spark. So just making sure. All right, so nobody's here, so we'll just move on to this public hearing. Do you want me to read this whole part in here or just the script on this one?
Just the script would be fine, Mayor.
Okay.
Or what's on the agenda would be fine.
I can't read anything until I get glasses. I knew something was missing. It's like, why can't I see this? Oh my God. Okay. So the one on the agenda is fine, you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're gonna call this public hearing to open at 6:33 p.m. The city council will hold a public meeting or public hearing to obtain public comments on proposed supplemental budget for fiscal year 5-6. And I presume we have no one signed up for that. All right, we'll just give it a minute and then we'll close the public hearing. Ooh, 6:34. Minute up. Okay, we close the public hearing at 6:34. Move on to our action items. We start with approval of resolution 2526-17. Adopting a supplemental budget for fiscal year 25-26, pages 3 through 9. Does anybody have any questions or concerns, comments? Seems pretty straightforward. Good to me too. And we need it. All right, I'll entertain a motion. Yeah. Yes.
I move to approve resolution 25-26-17, a resolution adopting a supplemental budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
A second.
I have a motion from Councilor Peterson, a second from Councilor Mackin. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. All right, let's turn to page 11. And would you like to make any comments concerning this? About building reserve fund?
Yes, when we went through the budget process back in the spring, we talked about the building reserve fund. We talked about the sales proceeds from Dayton Villages, about $300,000. At the time, I suggested programming those funds for a facility study. The budget committee elected not to make a policy decision on that at that time. But we did set aside those funds in the capital accounts within the building reserve fund. So those monies are budgeted. I'm requesting council's buy-in tonight on making that policy decision of using a portion of those funds to start a facilities condition and needs analysis. That would look at the annex, it would look at this building, it would identify major capital needs for one. And then the second part of that is it would work with the city staff, you, the council, any other stakeholders that need to be a part of this process, public, in creating some floor plans and other designs. And looking at our programming needs and how everything would lay out to create some options, some floor plans, some elevations, as well as some cost estimates associated with that. That will position us, once that's done, to start making some decisions. Once we make those decisions, we get a design team on board, we start drafting the building permit sets and the project specifications, we bid it out, hire a general contractor and get to work. So this is the pre-design due diligence phase, and I'm requesting the council's buy-in tonight to get that started.
Question.
I have information about the annex, I'm not sure has been forwarded. When the fire department first moved out, we did a seismic study. The annex, it would cost way too much to bring it up to code. So I'm not interested in spending a whole lot of money assessing the condition of it because it's pretty well shot. This is old information because it was somewhere around 07, maybe 06. But it sounds to me like we were on borrowed time all along. It's brick and not seismic. It didn't pass anything. We're gonna have to put a lot of money in there. And the original plans called for knocking it and City Hall down and rebuilding.
I don't think the idea is to use the annex continually as anything other than place for maintenance.
Yeah, well, seems like a little bit of waste of space, but you know, if we're going,
Were there trucks and
No.
tools with it?
well, the annex part, the part we use is a medium room. Will they have a use for it? If we
They
move out?
might.
Yeah, well, these are just considerations. From the sounds of it, it wasn't worth putting more money into
I
that.
read all that stuff, yeah.
Well, good, okay. So yeah, I'm not in favor of spending a whole lot of money trying to figure out what we can do with it. 'Cause-
I don't think that's the intention. Besides, it doesn't really meet our needs at the present anyhow, so.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, and interestingly, I was cleaning out my office on Friday, purging some old files, organizing things, and I found that study that you mentioned.
Well, all right. Did I have it right?
Yes,
Oh, sure.
It must be the universe speaking, right?
so that could, if you look at the RFQ, it states that when we select somebody, we can negotiate the scope of the project. And if you'd like to come back and fine tune that before we put something in writing, we can definitely do that.
So just clarification, you would be working with folks to get these quotes about our facilities, this facility, and you can just say, all right, let's not spend any. Here's this report that we got 20 years ago. Let's move on from it. I mean, you can just.
Sure.
You're gonna be driving this way.
Correct. Let me back up. Just for everybody's benefit. The seismic upgrades, and I can send that study to each of you, were about $900,000.
Okay.
So let me ask this body. Before I send out this request for quotes tomorrow, do you just want me to strike any mention of the annex, focus specifically on this building? I can do that if you want.
I think that would be a better idea, only because of the nature of that building. I also think this has undergone a lot more upgrade since the last building, so. Since the annex anyhow. I mean, it's not really undergone any kind of upgrade because it was never worth it to.
I mean, maybe it would be worth it to get a quote on what it costs to raise that. You know, in terms of just tearing it down.
Well, yeah, I mean, what could it be used for? What could we safely maybe use it for? Is it safe enough for, our public works department to be able to continue to use it and for how long? And I mean, so maybe as far as a facility center goes, in terms of use, yes, but not in terms of use for holding out our meetings and.
Sure. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. We're on page 11 discussing the background on building reserve fund. And Jeremy was just giving us a little Reader's Digest. Did you have any questions about that particular thing?
I was just wondering how much you think it's gonna cost to do this assessment of the buildings and all that, 75 to 100, do you really think it's gonna cost them?
I received one quote and it was within that range.
That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah.
How many quotes have we done?
Just one. When it was above that threshold, I realized I had to step back and we need to go through a formal process.
Any way to trim that down a little bit? That's an awful lot of money just to do a feasibility survey on what you're doing. Utilization survey.
Yes, and it needs to be done. We need
Well,
to,
no, I-
we need an
yeah.
expert to look at these buildings and evaluate them every time.
And it will cost that much, and we want to pay a good amount of money for it, because we want details about roofs and, basements and walls and. I mean, we wouldn't even know unless we get a professional in here to look at this building that's worth a review.
So who would do that? A general contractor?
There are various architectural engineering firms and firms that provide owners representative services that they could do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, now it's yeah,
It's a lot.
it is a lot. I mean, just to look at $100,000, just to figure out, okay, here's our options. That's a lot of money just for what ifs. I know we gotta do something, so.
Well, here's the other thing is if we want to apply for grants, we have to have this part of it done.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, and they're gonna wanna see that we're putting our nose into it to ensure that they're gonna even award any kind of grant, if we could find such a thing.
Well, 300,000 is not gonna get at this project, but anyway, so we're gonna have to have grants or some, find some kind of funding for that.
Absolutely.
For about everything we need to do, we're
Yeah.
talking probably 7 figures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
a
don't,
lot.
we won't know until they do the assessment, so.
So Mayor, just to respond to Councilor Hover's points, these are very good points.
Yes,
For one, we do have $500,000 in USDA funds here. I spoke with our rep and they want us to get that money spent as soon as possible. But that's not gonna cover everything. That can at least get something done, some seismic or something. Second, this isn't the only project approach I've considered. Earlier this fall, I had our representative from our engineer of record out here. And that representative has worked with other cities to do city hall related projects. And what they do is they'll come in, they'll hire a general contractor and you'll pretty much design as you go. I think that kind of approach makes sense if,
Somebody's phone is going on.
I'm gonna learn.
if you're building a simple building from scratch, this is a complex structure. And something else that's factored in here is the engagement and public outreach part. We wouldn't get that with our engineering firm. And I think that's an important part of making this a success.
We'll see, it'll walk down, we'll just take a look.
I've been thinking about how we came to get this building. We
That-
have been setting money aside to rebuild the public works.
Mhm.
And then we got the fire hall, we didn't need it. This, people put a bunch of money into this and I'm sorry to say they weren't able to make it work. But didn't we get this like in foreclosure?
Something like that.
And we
And
used the money that had been set aside.
we also got some grants.
Yeah,
As
okay.
well, so.
I remember.
And part of the reason we got some special grant funding we had to do because of the history with the, I can't think of them. You know, the
The
guy,
service club.
yeah, and, what's the base, thank you.
There it is, yes.
I could not back that up in the life. The Masons, so, yeah, and we still have a plaque down there too.
Yeah, well, and I do remember we got a little extra grant money to put in a hill elevator. As opposed to those scaffolding things.
Yeah.
So it's,
Okay, well, I wasn't,
Wasn't any of our.
okay,
oh, good,
so.
good to know.
So on that $500,000 grant, is there a specificity applied with that? Do we have to use it for, building improvements or?
Oh, it's pretty open-ended.
Okay. Is
It,
there-
it does need to be some kind of construction project for the Dayton Civic Center. That's what's the appropriations language comes in.
So with this survey that we're talking about doing right now, would that cover also the structural elements of our existing building and mold areas and all those things as well?
For what's on the agenda tonight?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we're not gonna do City Hall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're not gonna do City Hall.
It's,
I thought I read that we were considering the feasibility of even hanging on to City Hall.
The
in this-
annex.
In this, or,
The annex
so in the annex, City Hall itself is pretty much,
exceeded its useful life.
Really?
really, we think that, honestly?
Oh,
have you been in the
I'd
basement?
say yes.
No, but I was wondering if anybody's taken out the walls and looked at the structures and all the rest of that stuff and thought about it. Yeah.
It was looked at some years ago too. I think,
It's been known to be a problem, like since the beginning of the century.
yeah.
The mold was already a problem, flooding was the problem. Our city manager spent a very short amount of time, their office was downstairs and it just didn't work.
It flooded.
Flooded, yeah.
Upstairs.
We lost summer reading program materials every freaking year. They were stored downstairs and they kept wet. We'd have to buy them all over.
You had to store them at least this.
Well, why didn't they do, I'm curious why they didn't do that. If you know the water's going to here, put stuff up here.
Sometimes we
Or
don't.
Johnny Status song about that.
So much easier things than that.
Well, yeah, we have a button inside here.
All right, anybody would like to make a motion? Please.
Move to authorize the city manager to issue the request for quotations for a facility conditions assessment and facility needs analysis as presented.
One second.
Okay, I have a motion from Counselor Peterson and a second from Counselor Typer. All those in favor? Aye. All right, motion passes. Page 59, our town hall planning for police services. I got the flyer.
I got the flyer.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Fire.
Indeed.
Although it confused me because I kept looking for the water bill. Okay, this came with the water bill. Where did the bill go?
We send it separately, so.
Yeah, well, it was in a different envelope. That came back to me a little bit late.
Well, that probably caused people to really look at it because it wasn't the billing.
Yeah, it wasn't the regular bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
So,
So I provided you with the information that we have until now. So the narrative and the facts and the survey that has gone out. We propose as the agenda for the town hall to have a presentation from staff. Maybe a presentation from the sheriff's department, and then open up for questions. So, what I would like to know is what other information do you need or do you want to feel prepared for this time?
yes,
I would like to have a list available of the recent vandalism and see about coming up with a cost. As far as like what it costs to dump those tires, what it costs to do the repainting, man hours, lay it out there. ADA picnic benches, we had some in Courthouse Square Park at one point. They were vandalized, the ends were broken on. I'd like to get some information on how much money the city spent on that, so we could show them what vandalism has been costing. Put some numbers together for the Anderson Park bathroom. Let's let them know we need to nip this because this is what it's costing. That's one thing I'd like to see.
Agreed.
Yes. That garbage can that got blown up. Those
oh,
things
the
have been,
garbage can, the bridge, the fence around over by the.
yeah, let's put together a list of what all of this is costing us. I think that might be helpful. And if we haven't already, we need to stress this isn't doubling, this isn't added, we're adding a little bit to what you're already paying, this isn't new. That's always been a problem. And do we know yet what kind of a term we're going for?
Are you a little passionate, please?
I was still thinking really that we should go 2 years so that we don't have a big cost increase at any time. It's always on our mind, it's always on the ballot, seems. So, so far that's what I'd like to add.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Let me set that out. Do you know what kind of information the sheriff office is going to present. The only reason I ask is because I don't wanna duplicate some of the same things.
I've asked them today if we could set up a meeting to go through all that, but they do have detailed workload data for the past 5 years. That's on our city website.
Okay,
At a minimum, we can run through that.
I just, in an effort to not be duplicative
Sure.
and save time and everything, if we could maybe find, maybe you can just shoot out an email to the council, so if there are other specifics, we can research some of the stuff on our own. Just saying. Anyways, and then perhaps, we're same, and then maybe staff and also looking. And is there anything that you think, city council, aside from being present at the meeting and actively listening, that we need to do further?
Mayor, what I envision for this town hall is just an initial opportunity to educate the citizens on what this levy is and why it's back on the radar this year. And more importantly, to have a space to answer questions, receive input from the community.
Okay.
This will be the first of several stakeholder town hall meetings.
Yeah,
As
there's
we
two
progress.
or three more.
So are all council members expected to be present?
It's probably a good idea, so you hear what your constituents have to say.
I was just curious.
I mean,
And it's gonna be held here.
it's.
Oh, no, it's gonna be
yeah,
held
at
at
the
the
high
school.
school. High school, yeah.
So we'll see how that turnout is, to see if that works to be more inviting,
Have we had anybody calling and asking questions about it? No.
that I know of now.
Just was curious.
One more idea. Maybe we could do a little bit of outreach ourselves and see if we can find some community members who are interested in getting involved in town meetings. That would be a good thing to have from that night.
Sure. Fair enough. Okay.
We'll talk to Kathy Carson, she's always involved, like,
Oh,
Kathy Hartman?
Carson?
Parker,
Carson.
the one that speak,
Does Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Parker involved.
yeah, oh, she's everything.
It's funny, because we called her Kathy Carson, and I thought it was Carson, so I changed it.
No.
I've been calling her that for the last year.
No, she's been involved in this community.
Yeah, forever.
Oh, but she
30
was,
plus years.
she was part of Code One.
Yeah.
Well, she recruited Kathy, my wife, to go be an observer for ICE.
Oh,
She's doing that.
yeah,
She's amazing.
yeah, she's quite something else.
Yeah.
So the high school commons is where you just go into the main building, the high school. I've never been in a high school.
So off of 8th Street, right behind the old gym, there's a little parking area that kind of goes into a.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Also, it's
that
down
building.
there by that for,
No, it's closer to Ferry Street.
oh, is it?
Yes,
Oh.
it's right, so you turn from Ferry on to 8th and literally just go past the brick building, which is the old gym right there.
Right.
And the parking area is right there, so it's gonna be, it's orange and gray.
Okay.
It's the cafeteria.
There'll be people there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm making some A-board signs to direct people and stuff like that.
I mean, if we talk to the sheriffs, I mean, if we can just keep away from statistics and really give it a more of a down home feel, and less of a. I mean, the statistics are important, and I think we gotta cover some, but I just would hate to see the sheriff stand up and just say, well, you know, blah, blah, here's the stats. And
Yeah,
not talk about their part in our community, because I think our sheriff is very much engaged in our community. You know, they feel that.
yeah, it really depends on who you talk to in the community.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, there's always,
yeah,
Well, Eubanks had to leave town because people were getting to know him too well. They were taking advantage of him. He was here at school resource officer plus,
oh, yes,
and he came by and told me he was leaving, he had to go, you know, he was moving on to something else, I said, but everybody knows you. He said, that's part of the problem.
is that when he started the newlywed game?
You know, I keep forgetting to ask you about
Yeah,
that.
be all back to get
That-
Yeah, Bob, you bet.
Yep.
Oh, that personality of a dial tone,
Yeah.
that, oh, such an exciting host. I was a game show freak. I could watch game shows like from 9 a.m. till 4:30, with maybe only a half an hour for the news.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, let's move on to council comments and concerns. Maybe I'll start with you, Counselor.
Alrighty. Since we have a new place here, we're gonna need to talk about emergency exit plans. Getting me out there is gonna be tricky should anything happen, and I'm gonna need the whole.
We'll just carry on that.
Yeah, well, that has to go too, but.
Chris will carry that.
Well, two of you can carry it but still, I would kind of like to have a plan.
No, it is a good idea to have a plan for sure.
And I would like to talk to you about the emergency exit downstairs. The door opens the wrong direction. As you come, well, no, as you come around the corner this way, the door opens like this. So you gotta go around it like that. If it opened up this way, I could easily get in and out from that sidewalk.
On the other hinge side.
Yeah. I don't know how much money it would cost to do that, but if we're gonna be here for, an extended period of time, it would sure be handy to have that emergency exit a little bit easier.
That'd be a pricey thing. Yeah, they're gonna take the jam and everything out, switch out the jam and do it all, but it might be a lot of work, yeah.
Well,
Not necessarily.
well, it depends on how much we're gonna be using this building, but. That would be a big help if it's feasible. No spending money on the annex, no. But if we're gonna be using this building, it would be good to fix it up. Emergency exits, I've been talking about that. It's been such a big deal for so long. Not everybody can say, do you have an emergency exit and is it wheelchair accessible? So I'm asking, anyway,
Okay.
I think that'll do it for tonight. Oh, question on, all of our public meetings are hybrid. Are executive sessions available? Like if I had to stay home for an executive session, not available on Zoom. Okay. That's helpful to know. Thank you, that's it.
Counselor Piper?
I've got no comments at this time.
Okay.
No comment.
No, nothing to add.
Counselor
No, just apologize for being late.
I'm
Otherwise.
glad you came, because I'm like, we're not doing the executive session. Okay, the only comments I wanted to make was. Thank you to maintenance for fixing the potholes at the end of my street. Can we still get a tree ordinance to review for our next business meeting first of all things? And then the other thing was, are we having more issues with the Anderson Smith bathroom?
As far as the tree ordinance, we may have to look at March.
March, okay, that's fine, as long as I kind of know what's coming up.
And Andrew Smith, I'm not familiar with what's going on there.
No, since we changed the locks and all that kind of stuff, the bathroom's by my house.
We haven't heard anything.
No other issues or anything.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything. So I'm assuming it's fine, but we can check in.
Okay, I saw a bicycle with stuff hanging off that made me think, why is that bicycle sitting there? But that, anyways, yeah. So, If nobody's complained or nothing's been found, it's probably fine. Maybe that's all they were doing is, nothing. So,
Nothing has come to my attention, so sometimes no news is good news.
and that is good. All right.
These days.
And just for curiosity, do we need to completely adjourn out of regular session before we go into executive session?
Yes.
And how are we doing this executive session?
Mayor, at this time, if we're ready to adjourn the special session, I recommend that you read under section 8.
Yeah, but where are we meeting without?
Here.
Where are you gonna go?
outside.
Okay, that's all I was trying to figure out. All right, so we'll close the official city council meeting at 7:05.
Didn't we say we're?
And then we'll do the executive session. I'm going to read what?
I thought we were gonna postpone it for
Well,
another.
Scott showed up.
Oh, okay.
Why?
And Drew hasn't, he's already.
Yeah. Oh,
So that's fine.
I missed that. All right.
Yeah. All right, so executive sessions are closed to the public. Representatives of the news media and designated staff may attend executive sessions. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision will be made in this executive session. The city council will adjourn directly from the executive session and will not be returning to open session. All right. Oh, there's more. These things are so long. The executive session, I should have took my come out. The executive session held pursuant to ORS 192.66021 to review and evaluate the employment related performance of the chief executive officer of any public body, a public officer, employee